In this video we bring you every personal sigil of House Targaryen, all 11 of them, and all explained. In House of the Dragon series there are two warring Targaryen factions, the Blacks led by Queen Rhaenyra Targaryen and the Greens led by King Aegon II Targaryen. Both of them have their own personal sigils, slightly different than the original Targaryen sigil. The Targaryen sigil is a red three-headed dragon, breathing red flames on black, created by Aegon the Conqueror. Before Aegon's conquest, Targaryens did not have a heraldic sigil, as this is a Westerosi tradition, not a Valyrian one, and such had never been used by the Dragonlords of Old Valyria. When Aegon the Conqueror and his two sister wives rode their 3 dragons to conquer and unite the 7 kingdoms, they then established a sigil for the Targaryen dynasty. The 3 heads of a dragon represent Aegon and his 2 sister wives, Rhaenys and Visenya. In the books during the Dance of the Dragons, the Targaryen Civil War, both Queen Rhaenyra and King Aegon used their personal sigils. Rhaenyra's personal sigil is a standard Targaryen heraldry, a 3-headed red dragon on a black field, quartered with the moon-and-falcon sigil of House Arryn, for her mother Aemma Arryn, and the silver seahorse on sea green of House Velaryon, for the Velaryons who are among her major supporters. During the war, her faction uses her personal heraldry as their battle flag. Aegon's personal sigil is a 3-headed golden dragon instead of the red 3-headed Targaryen dragon, indicating his dragon Sunfire, a golden dragon who is said to be the most beautiful dragon on earth, on traditional black Targaryen background. Aegon's supporters use his personal heraldry as their battle flag. Rhaenyra wanted to honor and highlight her family and connections, while Aegon wanted to honor and bring attention to his dragon. If you're asking yourself why do they have personal sigils in the first place, why not use the original Targaryen sigil, which would actually make their side appear more legitimate than the side using a personal sigil? It's because there are 2 claimants to the Iron Throne, Rhaenyra and Aegon, of the same house at war with each other, and they both use the same banner. The battle would be terribly confusing. They have to use different heraldry to avoid confusion on battlefield. However, the show seems to be changing Rhaenyra's and Aegon's personal sigils from what they are in the book. In Season 1 of House of the Dragon, on his coronation day, King Aegon's banner was the same as in the book, golden 3-headed dragon breathing gold flames on black. But in Season 2 that will change. The dragon will stay the same golden, but the background will change from Targaryen's black to Hightower's green. In the show, this change will likely be Otto Hightower's idea. Otto wanted his blood on the throne. He wanted to bring glory to his house. The green banner displays the union of House Targaryen and House Hightower to the world. We also seemingly will not be seeing Queen Rhaenyra's personal sigil in the show, as there's no indication that Rhaenyra will be changing her banner. Queen Rhaenyra and her side, the Blacks, will use standard Targaryen sigil, the 3-headed red dragon on black. I'm not sure why they did such changes from the books, but my guess is that the showrunners decided to go with the green banner instead of black, for Aegon to highlight that their side is known as the Greens, while completely removing Rhaenyra's personal sigil to avoid any confusion among the fans as to why her sigil consists of 3 different sigils. In House of the Dragon, Rhaenyra and Aegon are not the only Targaryens with personalized sigils. Prince Daemon also has one. Daemon's personal coat of arms features the 3-headed red dragon of House Targaryen, adorned with golden scales and within a border of golden fire, for his City Watch gold cloaks. Prince Daemon Targaryen commanded the City Watch of King's Landing, and he gave every man a golden cloak, which led to the guards becoming known as the Gold Cloaks. House Targaryen ruled the 7 kingdoms of Westeros for 300 years. And throughout Targaryen history, there have been many more Targaryens, ranging from heirs to the throne to bastard sons, second-born sons, and even kings with their own personal sigils. One of them was a Targaryen great bastard, Brynden Rivers, called Bloodraven, who would later go on to become the Three-Eyed Raven. His personal sigil was a white dragon with red eyes on black, breathing red fire. His sigil was a representation of both himself and his Targaryen blood. Brynden was an albino and thus had milk-white skin, long white hair and red eyes, all clearly visible in his personal arms. Lord Bloodraven was the bastard son of King Aegon IV Targaryen by his 6th mistress, Lady Melissa Blackwood, who was later legitimized. Brynden was a Targaryen loyalist during the Blackfyre rebellions. He served as Hand of the King to King Aerys I Targaryen and King Maekar I Targaryen. He was eventually sent to the Night's Watch by King Aegon V Targaryen, where he rose to the position of Lord Commander. One day he disappeared beyond the wall and became the Three-Eyed Raven, which seems it's always been his destiny, because since the day he was born, he's had a red birthmark on his cheek, looking like a raven drawn in blood. In the Game of Thrones show, upon becoming the king, Bran Stark adopted the Bloodraven's Three-Eyed Raven as his personal sigil, as it can be seen on his Kingsguard. That was just a little fun fact for you. Another Targaryen with a personal sigil was King Maekar I Targaryen. Maekar had his own personal coat of arms, the three-headed Targaryen dragon quartered. Maekar has his personal sigil quartered because he was the fourth son of King Daeron II Targaryen and was not expected to rule one day, but after a number of unexpected deaths in the royal family, he came to the throne. Maekar was a capable army commander and warrior who served in the two of the Blackfyre rebellions, wielding a huge spiked mace. Maekar's son, Prince Aerion Targaryen, also known as Aerion the Monstrous, or Aerion Brightflame, also had his own personal sigil. His was a three-headed dragon with heads being all different colors, orange, yellow and red, breathing golden flames on black. The reason is because he was obsessed with dragonfire. Aerion frequently wore clothing as bright as fire, in red and yellow and gold, and black cloak bordered in scarlet satin. In tourneys, Aerion wore clothes and armor resembling a pattern of smoke and fire, and his black helm had a crest of red enamel flames. His lance was gold-tipped, and painted in stripes of red, orange and yellow. Even his horse was clothed in orange and red fabric to look like flames. Aerion was one of the most outstanding examples of the madness that can affect the members of House Targaryen. Cruel and arrogant, he thought he was a dragon in human form. Aerion died screaming after drinking a cup of wildfire, believing it would transform him into a dragon. There's also a theory that Aerion was not mad, but like the rest of his brothers had dragon dreams. According to this theory, Aerion killed himself in an attempt to bring back dragons that he foresaw in his dreams. Perhaps Aerion dreamed and foresaw the return of Daenerys Targaryen's dragons. The color of the dragon heads in Aerion's sigil corresponds to the eye color of Dany's three dragons. Aerion's older brother Daeron, one of the rare Targaryens who had prophetic dragon dreams and first in line for the throne, also had a personal sigil, the standard three-headed dragon of House Targaryen, but instead of facing its right, his is facing to its left, reason unknown. Another personal sigil coming from a person with Targaryen blood was from Aegor Rivers, frequently called Bittersteel. Aegon was one of the great bastards, a son of King Aegon IV Targaryen by his fifth mistress, Lady Barba Bracken. In his personal sigil, Aegor combined the red stallion of House Bracken with black dragon wings from House Blackfyre, on a golden field snorting fire. Aegor was a major supporter of the pretender King Daemon I Blackfyre, and the later Blackfyre pretenders. Bittersteel was the founder of a famed group of exiled sellswords, the Golden Company. The war cry of the Golden Company is "Beneath the gold, the bitter steel," which refers to Aegor's nickname Bittersteel. Two great Targaryen bastards, both having their own personal sigils. Bittersteel and Bloodraven hated each other their whole life. First because King Aegon replaced one's mother with the others, and then when they both fell in love with their beautiful half-sister Shiera Seastar, who chose Bloodraven. The two fought twice during Blackfyre rebellions. Another Targaryen with a personal sigil was Prince Valar Targaryen, known as the Young Prince. He was the oldest son of Baelor Breakspear. Valar's sigil was a typical red three-headed dragon of House Targaryen on black, but with added red border, reason unknown. One of the more infamous examples of a Targaryen with his own personal sigil is Daemon Blackfyre with a sigil of House Blackfyre, a cadet branch of House Targaryen. Daemon I Blackfyre, born Daemon Waters, was the bastard son of Princess Daena Targaryen and King Aegon IV Targaryen. After being legitimized by his father and given the king's sword Blackfyre, Daemon founded House Blackfyre, named after the famed Targaryen Valyrian steel sword passed from king to king for generations since Aegon the Conqueror. Daemon Blackfyre's personal sigil and House Blackfyre's sigil was House Targaryen's sigil, with the colors reversed. Instead of the normal red three-headed dragon on a black background, his was a black three-headed dragon on red background. Thus Daemon became known as the Black Dragon. Daemon fought against his true-born half-brother King Daeron II Targaryen for the Iron Throne in the first Blackfyre Rebellion. It's said that Daemon fought like the warrior himself and had no equal. Daemon died when he and Sir Gawain dueled, with both men using their Valyrian steel swords. After an hour, Daemon won the duel, and Corbray was wounded. Instead of killing him, Daemon dismounted to prevent Corbray from being trampled, and commanded that Corbray was to be taken off the field. Daemon was distracted. Bloodraven, the one we already mentioned, with his own personal sigil, captured important position, and rained arrows on Daemon, killing him. The last person with Targaryen blood in their veins to have a personal sigil was Daemon III Blackfyre. His sigil was black dragon on yellow background, black dragon for House Blackfyre and yellow background for the Golden Company. Daemon III led the 4th Blackfyre rebellion together with Bittersteel and the Golden Company. Daemon was slain by Sir Duncan the Tall of the Kingsguard, and the Blackfyre suffered a shattering defeat. There you have it, guys, every single personal sigil of House Targaryen in their history. Let me know which personal sigil is your favorite and why. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please give it a big thumbs up, and I hope to see you in the next one.